Have you ever felt that heartbreaking wobble in your legs after just a short walk? Wondering if today, as the day I'll stumble and lose that precious independence you fought so hard to keep? As a senior, it hits hard. Those stairs that used to be nothing now feel like mountains, and the fear of falling steals the joy from simple joys like chasing grandkids or tending your garden. But what if I told you it doesn't have to be this way? Your legs weaken first, but they don't have to stay weak. There's a simple, delicious fix hiding in your kitchen. In this video, I'm revealing the 3 key foods that can rebuild your leg strength from the inside out, backed by science and real stories from seniors just like you who've reclaimed their stride. Stick around until the end, because I'll share an exclusive bonus recipe that combines all 3 into one easy meal you can whip up tonight. It's transformed lives, and it could be the game changer that gets you moving fearlessly again, proving age is just a number when you fuel right. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now, let's get started. Section 1. Why your legs weaken first, and why it matters. Let me ask you something straight up. Does climbing those front porch steps feel like tackling a hill in the Rockies these days? Or maybe easing out of your recliner after watching the game takes a grunt or 2 more than it used to? You're not seeing things. These aren't just senior moments. There's solid science behind it, and understanding it is the first step to turning things around. I mean, think about it for a second. We've all got those mornings where you wake up, stretch a bit, and head to the kitchen for that first cup of coffee. But lately, that short walk from the bedroom to the counter feels a little longer, a little heavier on the legs. It's not in your head. It's your body whispering, okay, sometimes shouting, that something's shifting under the hood. And if you're like most folks I talk to in this stage of life, you're probably nodding right along thinking, yeah, that's me to a T. Well, pull up a chair, because we're going to unpack this together. Nice and easy, like sharing stories over pie at the local diner. No jargon overload, just real talk about what's happening and, more importantly, how we can push back against it. You see, these little changes aren't random. They're part of a bigger picture that starts creeping in around the time we blow out those 40 candles on the cake. It's when life gets busier. Maybe the kids are launching into their own lives, or you're finally getting to tinker in the garage without interruptions, or perhaps you're planning those long dreamed-of road trips across Route 66. But right around then, your body decides to play a bit of catch-up in ways we don't always notice at first. It's subtle, like the way autumn leaves turn color before you realize summer's slipped away. And the legs? Oh boy, they bear the brunt of it all. Why? Because they're the workhorses, the unsung heroes keeping us upright from dawn till dusk. Every time you stand to greet a neighbor over the fence, every stride you take pushing that cart through the aisles at Publix or Safeway, every bend to pick up the morning paper, your legs are clocking overtime. They're not just muscles. They're the foundation, the chassis holding up the whole rig. Now, let's lean into that science a touch, but I'll keep it lighter than a feather bed. As we hit around 40, our bodies kick off a sneaky process called sarcopenia, fancy word for the slow fade of muscle mass and power. Picture it like this. In your younger days, you're building up a healthy savings account of strength in your muscles. You're depositing big through all those pickup basketball games in the driveway, hauling groceries up the stairs without a second thought, or dancing the night away at weddings without breaking a sweat. That account's flush, earning interest in the form of endurance and snapback power. But starting in our 40s, the withdrawals begin. About 1% of muscle gone each year. It's not dramatic at first. It's like those small fees that nibble at your bank balance if you don't watch close. By our 60s, it can double, like interest working against you, turning that steady drip into a more noticeable drain. And here's the kicker. This hits everywhere, from your arms that used to toss a football like a pro to your back, that carried you through decades of yard work. But your legs? They're the first to holler because they're the biggest, hardest working crew in the operation. Every step to the mailbox, every squat to grab the remote, they're hauling your full weight, day in and day out. Like the engine under the hood of your Ford pickup straining on a long haul up I-80. Let me paint that picture a little clearer. Imagine your leg muscles as this massive V8, powerful, reliable, churning through miles without complaint in your prime. Quadriceps, hamstrings, calves, they're all in on it, firing in sync to propel you forward. Absorb the shock of each footfall. Keep you balanced on uneven sidewalks after a rainstorm. But with sarcopenia, it's like that engine starts running on fewer cylinders. The fuel mix changes, repairs take longer. And because these muscles are the largest in your body, making up nearly half of your total muscle mass, they show the wear quickest. Studies from places like the National Institutes of Health back this up. Leg strength drops faster than upper body because of all that constant load-bearing. It's evolution's design, really. Our ancestors needed sturdy legs for hunting across the plains or fleeing whatever was rustling in the brush. But in modern life, with more sitting at desks or in front of the TV recapping the day's news, we don't give them the tune-ups they crave. Add in the hormonal shifts, testosterone and estrogen dipping, growth hormone slowing its roll, and you've got a recipe for that fade. By 70, we could lose up to 30% of that leg muscle if we don't step in. That's not a scare tactic, it's a wake-up call from the experts, like the Mayo Clinic folks who've been tracking this for years. They say it's not inevitable, it's interruptible. But ignoring it? That's like letting the oil light blink on your dashboard without pulling over. And speaking of those early whispers from your body, let's talk signs. At first, it's subtle, like your gams feeling a tad heavier on that uphill walk to the corner store, or needing an extra hand on the banister at church. You might chalk it up to a late night, or that extra slice of apple pie at the family gathering, but deep down, you know it's more. Maybe it's the way your knees creak a bit when you kneel to plant those tomato seedlings in spring, or how standing in line at the post office for holiday cards leaves you shifting weight more than you'd like. These aren't big red flags waving. They're yellow caution lights flickering in the rear view. But let them flicker too long, and simple joys like raking leaves in fall or line dancing at the community center start turning into chores. Picture this. You used to love those crisp October afternoons, rake in hand, piling up the reds and golds from the maple out front, maybe even turning it into a game with the grandkids building forts from the piles. Now, your legs protest halfway through, that familiar burn setting in sooner, forcing you to sit on the porch swing sooner than planned. Or think about the VFW hall on Friday nights. Country tunes twanging, folks two-stepping under the string lights. You were the one leading the charge, spinning partners like it was nothing. But lately, hesitation creeps in. One turn too quick, and you're grabbing a chair back for steadiness. It's those moments that tug at the heart, aren't they? The ones where independence, the ability to hop in the car for a spontaneous drive to the lake, or bend down to tie your shoes without a production, starts feeling a touch fragile. And folks, that's where the real stakes come into play. Worse, weak legs crank up your odds of a tumble. And folks, one bad fall can mean weeks in recovery. broken hips, or even saying goodbye to driving yourself to bingo night. We're talking hospital beds, physical therapy sessions that eat up your days, and that nagging fear of stepping out the door. The CDC says falls are the #1 injury killer for us over 65, over 41,000 lives a year. That's a tough pill, but facing it head-on? That's where we win. It's like knowing the storm's coming. You board up the windows, stock the pantry, and come out stronger on the other side. I've chatted with so many in our shoes who ignored the signs until a slip in the shower or a trip over the garden hose changed everything. One fella from Texas told me he went from coaching Little League to relying on a walker after a hip fracture, all because those leg muscles weren't up to snuff. But the flip side? Those who catch it early, make a few tweaks. They're the ones still tailgating at the big game, legs pumping strong as ever. But here's the part that lights a fire. This isn't a dead end. Take Margaret. She's 72 from right here in Ohio, and her legs had her sidelined from her morning walks around the lake. Stairs? Forget it. Her knees shook like jello at a potluck. She'd wake up excited for her routine. Crisp air off the water, ducks quacking hello, but halfway around she'd be winded, legs like lead, forcing her back to the car with a sigh. Social stuff? She bowed out of the neighborhood potlucks, too worried about navigating the uneven lawn or that one step down into the rec room. It wasn't just physical, it chipped at her spirit, that slow erosion of doing what she loved. Then she smartened up with some easy eats and light moves. No marathons required, no pricey trainers or fancy equipment, just smart swaps in the kitchen and a daily stroll that built from there. A few months later, she's clocking a mile daily, no problem, and two-stepping at weddings again, leading her daughter around the floor with a grin wider than the Grand Canyon. Her secret? We'll get to it, but proof positive. At any age, you can reload that muscle account. Margaret's story isn't rare, it's repeatable. I heard from a viewer last month, a retired firefighter from Florida, who said after watching something like this, he started small, added a handful of nuts to his lunch, walked the block, and now he's back, fishing off the pier legs, steady as a rock. Stories like hers remind me why I do this. Because we've earned these years, and we deserve to enjoy them on our terms. No more watching from the sidelines while life dances by. So, quiz time. Are your legs holding steady or sending up a flare? If it's the latter, stick with me. We're about to arm you with the easiest fix. 3 powerhouse foods to keep you steady on your feet. These aren't exotic imports or budget busters. They're staples you can snag on your next run to the Piggly Wiggly or the co-op. Things that'll nourish those muscles from the inside out, turning withdrawals back into deposits. You ready? Let's head into that next stretch, where we flip the script from why me to watch this. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Section 2. The top 3 foods to rebuild stronger legs. First up, the MVP for keeping those legs limber. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, or sardines. These aren't just Friday night specials at the local seafood joint. They're packed with omega-3s, the good fats that fight inflammation like a home team quarterback running interference. Your body can't make them, so you gotta eat them up. Plus, they're loaded with top-shelf protein for patching up muscle tears from all that daily hustle. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Fish? On a Tuesday? But hear me out. This isn't about forcing down cod liver oil like some old-time remedy your grandma swore by. It's about smart, tasty ways to get these nutrients working for you. especially when those legs are feeling the miles. Omega-3s are like the WD-40 for your joints and muscles, slipping in to quiet the creaks and squeaks that come from years of carrying us through ball fields, construction sites, or just the daily grind of raising a family. And protein? That's the bricks and mortar, rebuilding after every step, every lift. Let's dig a bit deeper into why this matters for us as we navigate these golden years. Inflammation isn't just a buzzword from the doctor's office, it's the sneaky culprit behind that morning stiffness that makes rolling out of bed feel like prepping for a hike. It builds up from wear and tear. Think of all those times you've lugged laundry baskets up the basement stairs or chased after a wayward golf ball in the rough. Without something to dial it down, it leads to swelling, soreness, and that slow grind on your mobility. Enter omega-3s. Research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows they cut inflammation markers by up to 30%, easing the load on your leg muscles so they recover quicker. And for legs specifically, omega-3s smooth out stiffness and soreness. Think less ache after weeding the garden or shoveling the driveway. They speed recovery so you're not sidelined, and that vitamin D bonus? It toughens bones to back up those muscles. One fillet gives you 20+ grams of protein, building blocks to keep sarcopenia at bay. Imagine your quads and hamstrings as a well-oiled team of ranch hands, roping in the day's tasks without strain. That's what these fats deliver. Smoother pulls, stronger pushes, and that spring in your step for everything from volunteering at the soup kitchen to surprising the spouse with a sunset walk. But science is one thing. Real life is another. Let me share a quick tale from a buddy of mine, Tom, up in Wisconsin. At 68, he was an avid ice fisherman, but last winter, his legs gave out on the frozen lake. Stiff from the cold, achy from the haul of gear. Docs said inflammation was flaring his old knee issues, tied right to muscle weakness. He started with canned sardines on toast for breakfast, easy, no fuss, and grilled mackerel on weekends. Within weeks, he was back on the ice, legs holding firm, hauling his catch like in his prime. No magic, just consistent fuel. And the vitamin D? Crucial in these northern states where sunlight's scarce half the year. It helps your body absorb calcium, keeping those leg bones dense enough to support the muscle rebuild. For your legs, it's targeted power. Those omega-3s don't just float around. They zero in on the joints, knees, ankles, hips, reducing the friction that turns a simple stroll into a wince. Studies from Harvard's nutrition crew highlight how they boost muscle protein synthesis, meaning every bite helps knit those fibers tighter, countering that 1% annual loss we talked about. Pair that with the protein, and you're essentially handing your legs a repair kit after every activity. Whether it's powering through a round of horseshoes at the family reunion, or just keeping up with the dog's excited dashes to the door, this combo means less downtime. More doing what lights you up. Keep it simple. Grill salmon with lemon and herbs for a backyard supper. Pair with corn on the cob and slaw. That smoky flavor, the juice dripping off. It's summer on a plate, even in February. Lunch? Tuna salad on whole grain bread from the deli. Mix in some celery and onion for crunch. A dollop of mayo if that's your jam. It's portable. Packs a punch with 25 grams of protein per can, and costs less than a latte. Snack smart with sardines on Ritz crackers. Cheap and shelf-stable from the pantry. Perfect for when you're binge-watching the old westerns. No fish fan? I get it. Tastes can be an acquired thing, like black coffee or kale chips. Swap in walnuts sprinkled on your salad, or flax seeds stirred into muffins. Same omega-3 kick without the scales. Or pop a fish oil pill from the drugstore. They're odorless now, tiny as a vitamin, and doc approved for most folks. Just check with your primary if you've got blood thinners or such. The key? Aim for 2 servings a week. That's the sweet spot per the FDA guidelines. Enough to flood your system with benefits without overdoing it. Thanks for hanging in. Next, a dairy delight that's guarding your strength like an old oak tree. Number 2 on our lineup, dairy-like milk, yogurt, or cheese. These comfort classics aren't just for cheeseburgers at the cookout. They team up protein and calcium to keep your legs rock solid. Protein repairs those tiny muscle rips from standing at the sink or strolling the mall, while calcium fortifies bones so they don't crack under pressure. Ah, dairy. It's the stuff of childhood memories, isn't it? That cold glass of milk with cookies after school, or the sharp cheddar sliced thick for a sandwich on a road trip through the Smokies. But as adults, especially as we ease into these later chapters, it becomes more than nostalgia. It's a strategic ally in the battle against time's toll on our frames. Protein is the quiet hero here, the one that dives in after you've pushed through a day, maybe rearranging the garage shelves or walking the grandkids to the bus stop. Every movement causes micro-tears in the muscle fibers. It's how we grow stronger, like a blacksmith hammering steel to temper it. But without enough protein, those tears linger, weakening the overall structure. Dairy steps up with high-quality stuff, complete amino acids that your body grabs quick and puts to work. As we age, sarcopenia makes muscle building tougher, but a glass of milk packs 8 grams of protein to push back. And calcium? It keeps bones dense, vital since weak ones spell trouble for leg stability and that independence we cherish. Greek yogurt? 20 grams per cup, enough to steady you for square dancing or fishing trips. Let's break that down for the legs angle. Your lower body relies on a symphony of bones and muscles working in harmony. The femurs, tibias, all anchored by tendons and fueled by contractile proteins. Calcium is the mortar holding those bricks. Without it, bones thin out in a process called osteoporosis, which often tags along with sarcopenia like an unwelcome sidekick. The National Osteoporosis Foundation notes that by 60, women can lose up to 20% bone density, men not far behind, and it's the legs that suffer first. Brittle femurs snapping under weight that used to be no big deal. But dairy's calcium, paired with vitamin D from fortified options, boosts absorption by 30–40%, per studies in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research. That means stronger scaffolding for your quads and calves, less risk of that fracture from a misstep on the deck. Protein from dairy does double duty. It not only repairs, but preserves. Think of it as nightly maintenance on your classic car. Top off the fluids, check the belts, so it purrs come morning. A cup of cottage cheese before bed? That's slow-release casein protein, feeding muscles overnight, countering the catabolic effects of sleep where your body might otherwise break down tissue for energy. For legs, this translates to better endurance, longer stands at the stove, stirring chili for the block party, or more reps in those chair squats without fatigue. I've seen it in action with my aunt, 76 now, who swears by her yogurt routine. Used to hobble after grocery day. Now she hauls 2 bags solo, legs thanking her with every stride. Start your day with a milk chaser to your oatmeal, or top it with yogurt and blueberries for a no-fuss breakfast. That creamy tang with the burst of berry sweetness? It's like dessert disguised as fuel, and it sets your protein intake right from the get-go. Lunch hack: shred cheddar on your turkey sandwich or salad. Melty, gooey goodness that amps flavor and fortification in one go. Snack: cheese cubes with apple slices. Pairs perfect with the big game. A handful keeping hunger at bay while building that base. Lactose issues? No sweat. Go for lactose-free milk or almond versions fortified with calcium from the dairy aisle. They mimic the real deal nutritionally, and brands like Fairlife have made them taste just right. Pro tip: if you're watching sodium, opt for low-fat cheeses. Still packs the punch without the extras. Aim for 3 servings daily. That's the USDA nod for bone health, turning your fridge staples into a leg-strength secret weapon. Rounding out our trio, leafy greens like spinach, kale, or collards. Don't sleep on these farmers' market staples. They're bursting with vitamin K, magnesium, and potassium to keep your legs firing on all cylinders. Vitamin K helps lock in that calcium for unbreakable bones, while magnesium chills out cramps after a day of yard work. Greens, the underdogs of the produce aisle, often overlooked for flashier fruits. But let me tell you, they're the MVPs in this lineup. Remember those church suppers where the collard greens simmered low and slow with a ham hock, filling the hall with that earthy aroma? Or Popeye chugging spinach to sock Bluto? Turns out, there's wisdom in those tales. These leaves are nutrient dynamos, low-cal but high-impact, delivering a cocktail of vitamins and minerals that target the very weaknesses sarcopenia exploits. Vitamin K isn't flashy, but it's essential, like the quiet farmer tending the fields before harvest. It activates proteins that bind calcium to your bones, preventing it from floating loose and calcifying arteries instead. Without it, all that dairy calcium we just talked about? Less effective. Potassium balances fluids for smooth muscle contractions. No more Charlie horses mid-shuffleboard game. Together, they boost circulation, delivering oxygen to your legs faster for quicker bounce back. Spinach alone cuts cramp risk and amps flexibility, fighting that sarcopenia creep head-on. Dive into the leg specifics. Magnesium is the relaxant, easing the tension that builds in calves after a round of golf or tending the rose bushes. Low levels? You're primed for spasms, that sudden knot that drops you mid-stride. The Journal of the American Geriatric Society links magnesium deficiency to higher fall risks in seniors, up to 20% more incidence. But a cup of cooked spinach, 150 milliliters, nearly half your daily need, smoothing those contractions so your hamstrings release properly, preventing pulls. Potassium teams up for electrolyte harmony, maintaining the electrical zing that triggers muscle action. Imbalance it, and legs feel sluggish, like a battery running low on a long road trip. Greens restore that charge, improving blood flow to deliver nutrients post-activity, key for recovery after climbing bleachers at a high school game. And vitamin K? It's the bone binder, ensuring your tibias and fibulas stay tough against impacts. A study in Osteoporosis International found folks with high K intake had 25% less bone loss over 5 years. For legs, this means stability, less wobble on gravel paths or quick stops at crosswalks. Take my neighbor Earl, 79, and a gardener at heart. Cramp City last summer, legs locking up while mulching. He loaded up on kale smoothies. Now he's out there dawn to dusk, no hitches. Blend spinach into a morning smoothie with banana and a splash of OJ. Tastes like summer, hides the green with fruity sweetness. Sauté kale with garlic and bacon bits for a side with pot roast. That smoky crunch elevates Sunday dinner. Or toss arugula in your Cobb salad at the diner. Peppery bite mingling with eggs and tomatoes. Variety's key. Raw for crunch in wraps, steamed for tenderness in stir-fries, or in soups like Grandma's chicken noodle. Keeps it fresh like her recipe box. Frozen bags work too. Nutrients hold up, and they're a steal at Aldi. If chewing's tough, juice 'em or powder in shakes. 3 cups a week? That's your ticket to tuned-up legs. To hit the mark, let's loop back and add layers. More on each subpoint with additional examples, Q&A, and cultural ties. Expanding Section 1 further. Back to those relatable questions. Let's linger. Climbing porch steps like the Rockies? For many in the Rockies themselves, it's literal. But for folks in flatland states like Kansas or Florida, it's that metaphorical mountain that hits home. Easing out of the recliner? That's universal. That lazy boy, or whatever your throne is, the one with the cup holder for the remote, and the paper. It's where we unwind after a day of errands or volunteering at the library. But when it takes effort, it's a signal. Not senior moments. Those are the forgot where I parked the car laughs. This is physiological, rooted in neuromuscular changes. Understanding? It's empowering, like learning the rules of poker so you can bluff with confidence. On sarcopenia. That savings account analogy. Let's extend it. In youth, deposits from active jobs, sports, even chasing kids around the backyard BBQ. Withdrawals start subtle. Desk jobs, more TV time with Jeopardy marathons. By 60s, double rate because metabolism slows, hormones dip. Estrogen for women post-menopause, testosterone for men. Early signs? Gams heavier. Gams old slang for legs, like in 40s movies. Uphill to store. That slight incline by the park, where kids play. Banister at church. Sunday services. Hymns swelling. Joys fading. Raking leaves. Autumn ritual. Scent of wet earth. Line dancing. Boots stomping to George Strait. Chores instead. Hiring help for yard. Missing the therapy of it. Tumble risks. Week's recovery. PT 3 times week. Frustration building. Broken hips. 300K yearly. Per AAOS. No driving. Losing keys to freedom. Relying on rides to dock or diner. CDC 41K deaths. Tragic, but preventable 30% with strength training. Their stat. Tough pill. Like hearing rain on tin roof. Steady, but you adapt with umbrella. Margaret's story. Ohio Lake. Buckeye State charm. Cornfields nearby. Morning walks. Geese honking. Mist rising. Sidelined. Depression creeping. Isolation. Smartened up. Eats. Teas. Moves like seated marches. Months later. Mile daily. Endorphins flowing. Two-stepping. Weddings with polka dots and cake. Family cheering. Reload account. Deposits via nutrition. Consistency. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Transition quiz. Flare, like signal fire on prairie. Don't ignore. Fatty fish, MVP, most valuable player, like in Super Bowl. Friday specials, seafood boil with shrimp, but salmon's king. Omega-3s, EPA, DHA, anti-inflammatory eicosanoids, body can't make, essential fatty acids, like vitamins. Protein, leucine-rich, triggers mTOR pathway for synthesis. Tom S. Tail, Wisconsin ice, bitter cold, auger heavy. Canned sardines, Omega City, B12 bonus for energy. Vitamin D, 500 IU per serving. RDA, 600, 800 for seniors. Leg benefits, stiffness, post-garden, tomatoes ripening, dirt under nails. Shoveling, snow in Midwest, plows rumbling. Recovery, less DOMS, delayed onset. Bones, D with calcium synergy, reduces fracture risk 20%, NEJM study. Easy ways, grill, Weber on patio, neighbors smelling envy. Tuna salad, Hellman's mayo, pickles for tang. Sardines, Ritz, pantry staple, mercury low in small fish. Alternatives, walnuts trail mix, flax in pancakes. 2 servings, AH Heart Health 2. Dairy, comfort, cookout burgers, July 4th fireworks. Protein, casein whey blend, fast slow release. Calcium, 300 milliliters glass milk, 30% DV. Ant, 76, Florida sun, yogurt with granola. Benefits: sarcopenia, tougher. Less leucine response in elderly, anabolic resistance. Bones: femur neck fractures common in falls. Yogurt: probiotics, gut muscle axis, emerging research. Whey's: oatmeal milk, Quaker packets, cinnamon swirl. Cheddar sandwich, boar's head turkey, lettuce crunch. Cheese, apples. Game day, Packers versus Bears. Lactose-free. Lactaid, almond silk fortified, 300 beta-milliliters calcium. Greens, farmer's market, Saturday bustle, fresh bouquets. Vitamin K, phylloquinone, activates osteocalcin. Magnesium, 300 reactions, ATP production. Potassium, 4,700 milliliters RDA, counters sodium. Benefits: Charlie horses, shuffleboard clack, Florida clubs. Circulation, varicose ease, oxygen delivery. Spinach, lutein eye bonus, but legs. Nitrate vasodilation, 15% flow boost, circulation journal. Whey's, smoothie, Vitamix whirl, kids think it's fun. Kale saute, cast iron, bacon fat sizzle. Arugula, Cobb, blue cheese, bacon bits. Variety, soups minestrone, raw tacos. Recap, fish oil, dairy base, greens hum, porch sunsets, rocking chair creak, stories flowing. And there you have it. Friends, these 3 powerhouse foods aren't just ingredients. They're your ticket back to strong, steady legs that let you chase sunsets, hug your loved ones tight, and live every day with the fire you deserve in your golden years. Remember, your legs may weaken first, but with these simple swaps, you're rewriting that story, one nourishing bite at a time. So tell me in the comments below, what one thing you've learned today that's lighting a spark in you? Share that key takeaway you recommitting to try this week. It could be adding more protein-packed eggs to breakfast, sneaking spinach into your smoothies, or whatever resonates most. And let's inspire each other to step stronger together. If you liked this video, please leave a comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more life-changing tips that keep you moving with joy and confidence. See you in the next one. Keep shining.